welcome back. And our final conversation for today is with representatives of the Belize Humane Society. We're joined at this time by Melissa Coleman and Renee Wentz, who are members of the Belize Humane Society. And Renee is also a foster mom for dogs, and she brought her foster baby, Kali, right?
Mm-hmm. Kali.
So I want to say thank you for joining us, ladies.
Thank you for having us today.
Now, I want to start off just by talking about the Belize Humane Society and some of the work that it does, right?
Well, the Belize Humane Society has been in Belize for quite a number of years. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I think it's important to point out is that we do not have a shelter. Before I say what we do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There used to be a shelter, and we still have the Facebook page is still named Belize Humane Society and Animal Shelter because of Facebook and the rules for changing names for pages.
Yeah.
So that's just one thing that people need to know, that all the animals that we do assist are all done through foster parenting, and definitely it's something that we need more of. But about 2 years ago, the Humane Society was kind of reconfigured and revibrated, if you want to say that. And so they have a new board. People came on board, and there's been, if you've noticed over the last 2 years or so, there's been more fundraising. The Belize Humane Society has been getting out there and doing more.
Yeah.
I think about a year ago they had a clinic in Ladyville, but our normal duties are to do things like spay and neuter programs, and that had been many years now. The spay and neuter program has been in effect where people could apply and get half off their spay and neuter at local vets. They also do things like rescue of animals. So picking up animals that are injured, or we get calls for problem animals, and they will do some placement, of course, adoption of animals that are unwanted.
Yeah. So obviously you're talking about dogs and cats specifically,
Mostly.
right?
Yes.
We don't have as stringent regulations as other parts of the world when it comes to owning domestic dogs and cats. And, our national animal, obviously, people will say is the pot liquor, which happens because dogs breed and they kind of just end up roaming around streets.
Yes, roaming around streets.
So this is we're so accustomed to it. I know a part of what the Humane Society does is trying to get people to understand and to educate them about the importance of spaying and neutering. So let's talk about what it's been like, just trying to get the education portion out about responsibilities of being an animal owner, and also some of the things you can do to protect them. What's it been like?
Well, shows like these and through our Facebook page are ways that we bring awareness. We also do clinics, and we would have dog shows and have fun events that people can bring their pets to see what it is like, because it's something very important. Dogs are roaming. I'm sure when you're on the streets, when you're walking around, you see all of them. Like today is a very cold day. You're going to see them lying around. Some of them are going to be homeless, and it really touches your heart. A real dog owner knows how that feels, and they end up on the streets because of issues such as these, where people leave their dogs roaming around and they reproduce, and the animals are just left around and nobody's there to take care of them. So that is where we step in and we try to find homes for them, and foster parents like Renee, that helps. But the thing is, you can only take so many, because some of us do have dogs. For example, I have 3. So sometimes it's hard to accommodate and take as much, but you find it in your heart to find a little space, to find some extra chow just to take care of them.
Yeah. Talk to us about that program, because what may happen as well is people will start calling you more when they see dogs on the streets. But since we don't have a shelter, and I visited a shelter when it was still open, there were no funds. The city council had given them a space, the previous Humane Society. But I remember at the time, the person running the shelter said, we can't keep up. People would just dump dogs there all the time. Litters of puppies, litters of kittens, just leave them there. And the responsibility to keep them, it's a great cost. So currently what happens is people see animals on the street, hurt, abandoned, whatever, and they contact you. What happens then?
They would contact the Humane Society. Now, one thing people have to understand is that the majority of the members of the Humane Society are all full-time working people.
Yeah.
So we're volunteers, and we don't have people that are available 24/7 to go and house an animal. So we will also ask for the community assistance. For instance, in the case of this little dog, she came to us. We got a call about her because she was attacked by another dog, by a pit bull. She was, the people that had owned her previously left her to roam around. She was still very young. It was about a month and change. And she was pretty brutally attacked. We got the call, and it took some time for our volunteers to get there. We asked people in the neighborhood to look out for her, to try to assist her so that we could try to keep her safe until one of our volunteers could arrive to pick her up and take her to the vet.
She knows you're talking about her.
Yeah.
So then the dog is injured and in the streets, and somebody calls in about it, and you take them to the vet.
Yes, we would take them to the vet to see what kind of care we can get for them. And that's when the urgency comes into play.
Yeah.
Because we don't have monies to treat a lot of the kinds of problems that we have. We also don't have places to take the pet after once they've been treated. So like in her instance, she was taken in and there was an urgent call out, urgent foster needed. And really, if we can't find a foster, we usually have to euthanize the animal because there is nobody to take them in.
Yeah.
And that's probably our biggest issue. And if you follow our Facebook page, you will see that there are always these urgent calls, foster needed immediately, because the vets don't have the housing for them. And we can't expect them to give all this free kinds of treatment and care as well. You know, they do a lot for us, giving us reduced rates and lots of things like that. But you know, they can't do everything for us for free.
Yeah. So then you send out the foster call, and then you take her in, as you have with Callie, and hold her until she recovers. It's not a full-time ownership. You haven't taken her completely.
No. You take the dog until they recover, and we usually like to see with puppies or kittens that we're able to get them their initial puppy shots, their worming, and also to get them spayed or neutered. That's probably our main thing, is that before we release an animal, the animal is spayed or neutered. So we don't have this continued problem of unwanted litters.
Yeah. And that's a great opportunity to talk about the clinic, because we want to get that in. This weekend, there is a free, zero cost, free spay and neuter clinic for dogs and cats. Anybody brings in their animals and they get it done. I want to start off with why it's important to spay and neuter, because we hear it all the time. Oh, I want them to have their puppies. Oh, they're supposed to have a litter of puppies or kittens, and then, you know, you try not to have it happen again after that. So let's talk about the importance of spaying and neutering your dogs and cats.
Okay, well, like you said, it's going to be a free clinic. Free clinic this weekend. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's going to be in collaboration with the Belize Humane Society, as well as Hopkins Belize Humane Society. There's going to be about 22 veterinarians and vet techs from the U.S., along with the Belizean vets that will be helping to aid this great cause. And the importance of spaying and neutering, well, we've touched on some of the various reasons to prevent these unwanted litters. And, you know, it's hard to, you know, find homes for all these animals. So if we can help to decrease the number of these animals, it's going to control the population a bit more.
Yeah.
Some of the other things that we have a lot of myths. And in fact, right before I came on the show, it wasn't somebody who was on the show.
Okay.
But right before I came on the show, a person that I know said, "Oh my gosh, why would you do that to an animal?" And I said, there's lots of great reasons. One of the main reasons that well, let me dispel some of the myths first.
Okay.
The one you already mentioned, I want them to have their first litter. Dogs are actually healthier if they never have puppies or kittens.
Yeah.
I mean, and cats as well. They're healthier if they don't have a first litter. Why? Primarily because for dogs, the rate of cancer is quite high. And we have a cancer here that is prevalent in Belize called canine TVT. It's a venereal cancer, so it's spread by sexual activity between animals. And you've seen it. Trust me, you've all seen it, you just don't know what it is. You see the dog on the street, their genitalias are enlarged, there's many growths on them, the female dogs are constantly bleeding, and that is a problem because it's highly contagious. It's very expensive to treat. The treatment to do it is about $600 to $800. Wow. That's just to treat, and you don't know if it's going to be successful. If a dog is pregnant and has TVT, she can pass it to her puppies. And when it's passed to the puppies, it becomes a skin tumor. So they get tumors all over their bodies. Yeah. And we see these dogs on the street because a lot of times people dump them because they don't know what's wrong with them. And so that is a huge problem that we have. Yeah. Another reason that you would want to spay or neuter is to prevent roaming. This is primarily in our male dogs. That male dogs can get into all kinds of problems when they're out roaming. They get into fights, they can get hit by cars, people can steal them. And on top of that, when we have the dog eradication programs that go on through the city, they're highly susceptible to being poisoned by the city. We have a lot of what I call them owned strays. They're people's dogs that people do not take control over. And when there's a dog in the neighborhood in heat, you all know these dogs roam, they make a lot of noise, they create a whole problem for the entire neighborhood. People don't sleep for a week. These are all kinds of problems that we have.
And you know, I think that is so important for people to realize because because of the nature of animals, if a dog is in heat, they can be very far away from the animal that's in heat. They will leave their yard whatever way possible to be able to go find the female in heat. And the female in heat will also try to get out as well to go find a mate. So you want to be able to curb this activity, obviously for the safety of your dog. But there are also things that show, we have a flyer up, I believe, that it increases how long they live.
Yes, their lifespan is increased.
Longevity.
Yeah.
There's also, they're more protective. Yeah. And some people have this, again, a myth that, oh, if I get my male particularly neutered, he won't be protective. But the thing is, they know their yard now. Whereas if they're used to roaming around, they will think everywhere is their territory, and they won't protect your territory in particular. Yeah. Dogs are protective of you and your home because of the care that you give them, not because of anything to do with hormones. Yeah. It will reduce aggression between dogs, which is a benefit if you have multiple dogs in your household, but it will not reduce their protective nature over you or your yard or your people in your household.
So once you take out the distraction of mating, they can focus on the activities you want them to do. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're hoping, you're hoping obviously that people will take advantage of this opportunity. This is usually a service that you pay for from your vet.
Yes.
And it's very costly. Yeah. It usually runs about, it all depends on the weight of the dog, but it can go up to as much as $200. Yeah. So it's something that you can take advantage of. I remember last year around this time, I also took advantage of the program where, like Renee had said before, I had to do it to my younger puppy. He was 1 year old when I did it, and it was also to prevent cancer because he was prone to get cancer. And so when I went to the local vet, they told me that, oh, the Belize Humane Society is going to be paying a portion of it. Yeah. And that was one of the services that they were offering. Well, come this weekend, it's going to be completely free for dogs and cats. And rabbits. If you have rabbits, we also welcome your rabbits as well.
Now, it's not just cuddly dogs that you have at home that are well taken care of. It's your yard dogs. You're also encouraging people to, if they can, get the strays from their neighborhoods, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If somebody could bring an animal in that they know is not owned or is sort of a neighborhood animal, we definitely want to do that. Again, the less animals we have on the street, some things that people need to know. A dog or a cat only needs to be 2 months old or over 2 pounds to get spayed or neutered.
Okay.
They can be in heat.
Okay.
Female dogs. They can recently have had puppies or kittens. If they're still nursing, we would want them to bring the puppies and kittens along so they can be reunited right after them with the mother right after her spay, and she can nurse while she's recovering. And they can also do dogs that are pregnant.
Okay.
Okay, so that's, if people have a
There's
question.
no reason to not
There's
bring
no
them.
reason.
If people have a question, they're not sure, is it okay to do my dog? We
Yeah.
encourage them to just bring the animal.
And the vet will determine.
Okay.
Yes.
And the female doesn't have to have gone in heat as yet.
No.
No.
So
We-
once they're 2 months.
Yes, we actually want to prevent that
Yeah.
because some dogs can go into heat at 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And so you can have a dog like this having puppies, which is dangerous for her and her puppies. Yeah.
And that's the thing. People think the puppies are cute. They're fun to have around, but then they will grow into grown dogs.
And
Yes.
trust me, if you're interested in a puppy, the Belize Humane Society has puppies all the time. We
Yeah.
always have puppies available for adoption.
They're adorable.
Callie will be available for adoption after she gets spayed on Friday. So if anybody is interested in Callie, they just need to contact us through our Facebook page.
Hi. She
being
is
shy.
very
She's
nervous about
cute.
being on television.
We all understand how that can be sometimes.
So So who else would you want? What else do you want people to know about coming out to the clinic? It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And it starts at 8 a.m. at St. Catherine's Academy. That's where we will be having the clinic, and come out as early as possible. I know over a period of time we were giving out vouchers and people were making appointments, but walk-ins are very welcome to come. All you have to remember is don't feed your dog after 10 p.m. the night before you're going to bring them.
Okay.
And no water either. We want to prevent.
Oh, no water,
No
no.
food, no water after 10 p.m.
Okay.
10
So
p.m.
the earlier you bring them, the better for the animal too. Yeah.
Okay.
We'd want to make sure that if people have crates that they have for their dogs or their cats or carriers, to please bring them. Please bring dogs on leashes.
On leash.
So we have, we need to have some kind of control.
Yeah. And how long does it take? Do you know an estimate?
It's going to depend on the amount of people that are there.
Okay.
With 22 vets, we should be moving quite quickly.
Yes.
We're hoping for about 400 animals to be spayed or neutered this weekend.
Yeah.
So bring out your animals.
And the recovery time after? Is it a difficult recovery for the dogs or the
No.
cats?
No.
It's like outpatient. You're just done when
oh
you're
yes, they'll be finished in a few hours. The person will be told when you bring your animal in. They'll be able to give you an estimate of the time it will take, and then you'll be told when you can return to pick up your animal.
done. Okay.
For a female, usually their surgery is a little more invasive, so it will take them a little more time to recover it. But in about 2 days, you won't even know anything. The thing you just want to prevent from a female animal is a lot of jumping, so they're not going to have problems with stitches.
Yeah.
Males, by the end of the day, you don't even know that they had any surgery done. Their surgery is an outside surgery, and so it's it's a very easy surgery to do and to recover from.
Yeah.
They usually will come home a little groggy, like anybody who has had surgery.
Yes.
And they will maybe not want to eat that first night, but by the following morning, you won't even have a clue that something's been done.
Well, we really hope people take advantage of this opportunity, and hopefully if we can get more of the animals spayed and neutered, then we won't have to have the eradication process from City Council as often. Anything else that you'd like the public to know about coming up?
I just wanted to mention, this was told to us yesterday, as far as the eradication program goes, the Humane Society is trying to get a meeting with the mayor to discuss some alternatives, because we've had some alternatives that other Humane Societies have done to work along with the councils for the eradication. Do you have the number, Melissa, that we could give if people are still interested in making a particular appointment or getting a voucher?
Yeah.
Okay, if you'd like to make an appointment or get a voucher, you can always send a message to the Belize Humane Society. The number is 633-7632. 633-7632.
And it's at St. Catherine's Academy grounds,
Yes.
Friday, Saturday, and
And
Sunday.
Sunday.
Starting at 8 a.m.
Starting at 8 in the morning. You can get a voucher, you can try to make an appointment, but otherwise you can just show up with your dog or your cat or your rabbit. Have a crate if you can, if not just a leash when you take them in, and no food from the night before. No food or water from the night before. All right, and of course, you can find Belize Humane Society on Facebook, you said?
Yes,
Yes.
the page, if you search for it, is Belize Humane Society and Animal Shelter
Okay.
on Facebook. Go and become a member. Go and like the page. Then you'll also be able to see all the dogs and cats we have available.
Yeah.
After
And you'll
the
fall
clinic.
in love with them.
Yes, after the clinic, we will have more available because we're spaying and neutering all of our fosters through this clinic as well. So we'll have dogs and cats available after the weekend.
All right, and then you can adopt them. So instead of getting a dog from someone else, you can get one of the dogs already with their shots, already spayed and neutered from the Belize Humane Society.
Yes.
Right. Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning, and I really hope that people are able to take advantage of this opportunity. When we become more responsible with our animals, then we don't have to see some of the terrible things we do on the streets. So,
That's right.
all right, you ladies will be hard at work this weekend.
Thank you.
Yes, we will.
All right, well, we got to go ahead and wrap up the show at this point. So remember, if you want to contact us, you can contact us at oye@channel5belize.com, Marlene_oye@channel5belize.com, and you can still drop William a line at William_oye@channel5belize.com. Thank you very much for joining us, and remember to tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 when you open your eyes to start your morning right. Until then, keep your eyes, your mind, and your hearts open. We'll see you soon.